Let's dive into one of the toughest spots a trader can be in, trying to survive and hopefully one day thrive with a small account. It's a world just full of hype and promises of getting rich quick. So in this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a real, practical guide to survival. Okay, but before we jump in, we have to get the important stuff out of the way. Just a quick heads up, everything we're about to cover is for educational purposes. It is absolutely not financial advice. And please always remember, all trading comes with a huge amount of risk. $500. For so many of us, this is the number, right? It's where the journey begins. It's that feeling of hope, of ambition. But as we're about to find out, it's also at the very heart of a massive and pretty dangerous online myth. You've seen these headlines. They're everywhere. Small account challenge, watch me flip this. They make it sound like you don't need any real money to make serious money in the markets. And look, they're exciting, they're super tempting, but for almost everyone, they are a one-way ticket to blowing up your account. So it's time to ask the real question here. Does this high-risk, all-or-nothing approach actually work for the average person trying to learn this? The answer, and I mean this, is a huge no. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what those flashy videos always seem to leave out, and we'll show you the mechanics of what gives a small account a real fighting chance. All right, let's get into our first section, the $500 trading myth. We're going to break down exactly why the market itself is so incredibly hostile to a small account from the moment you place your first trade. And here it is, the uncomfortable truth. The market has absolutely no idea you're starting with just $500. It doesn't have a beginner mode. It doesn't scale down the difficulty. You are playing on the exact same field as a hedge fund that's managing billions. The only thing that changes, your margin for error. It becomes razor thin. This slide just lays it all out perfectly. So look at the trader with 100 grand. They take a 5% loss, that's $5,000. Yeah, it hurts, but they live to trade another day. Now look over at the $500 account. A 5% loss is just $25. That seems like nothing, right? Wrong. That $25 is often completely wiped out by what we call friction before your trade even gets a chance to work. And that friction brings us right to the heart of the issue, the invisible account killers. These are the hidden costs that just make it so difficult for a small account to ever get its head above water. You have got to understand these three forces. First, the bid-ask spread. That means you are instantly down money the second you enter a trade. Then you've got commissions, the fees you pay your broker just for the privilege of trading. And finally, slippage. That's the sneaky difference between the price you clicked and the price you actually got. For a big account, these are just the cost of doing business. For your small account, they are fatal. You can literally have a trade move in your direction. You can be right about the market and still lose money because these costs just ate up every penny of profit. And here's the knock-on effect. Because of all that friction, any kind of proper risk management just gets thrown out the window. The professional rule is to risk only 1 or 2% of your capital on a single trade. Well, with a $500 account, that's just $5 to $10. It is almost impossible to find a legitimate trade where your stop loss can be that tight. So what happens? You're forced to break the rules. You risk 10%, 20%, maybe even 50% on one idea. And that, my friends, is not trading. That's just gambling. Which brings us right back to those viral videos. There's a name for this. It's called survivorship bias. For every single person you see online turning $500 into $50,000, I promise you there are thousands who turn $500 into zero. But their stories don't get millions of views. They don't get uploaded to YouTube. You're only seeing the lottery winners, and it's tricking your brain into thinking the lottery is a smart way to invest your money. Even for the few people who genuinely pull it off, what you're seeing isn't some secret skill. It's the result of taking massive, all-in, totally unrepeatable risks. They just got lucky. They bet everything at the perfect moment and it happened to pay off. That is not a strategy you can build a career on, because sooner or later the math always catches up with you. Okay, so that's all the bad news. I know it's a lot, but it's not hopeless. Now we're going to pivot to the solution. Let's talk about the survival framework. This is a professional's approach to dealing with the market when you have a small account. This is how you actually build a foundation that can last. The single most important mental shift you have to make is right here. You have to stop thinking of that first $500 as investment capital. It's not the seed money for your future fortune. It is tuition. Think of it as the price of your market education. If you lose every penny of it, but you learn why you lost it, I'm telling you, it's the best money you will ever spend. So with that new mindset, your goal completely changes. You are no longer trying to get rich by next Tuesday.
Your new number 1 and number 2 objectives are survival and skill development. That's it. You just need to stay in the game long enough to actually figure out how to play it. Everything else can wait.
So, what are those first steps? Well, we already covered reframing your account as tuition. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to focus on your process, not your P&L. Ask yourself, did I follow my plan? Was my execution clean? That's a win, even if the trade lost money. And third, and this is crucial, trade the smallest size your broker will let you. 1 share, 1 microcontract. Your goal here is to get repetitions, to get experience, not to hit jackpot. Okay, now let's build on that. Step 4, paper trade. And I mean paper trade until it is so mechanical and boring that you can do it in your sleep. That's how you know you've really learned your strategy. 5, understand that your time, not your money, is your real asset right now. Compounding your skill is so much more valuable than trying to compound a tiny bit of money. And finally, here's the real secret. The fastest way to grow a small trading account is to add money to it that you earned somewhere else. I know it sounds completely backward, but it is the absolute truth of this business. The slow, patient, methodical path will get you to being a consistently profitable trader way faster than chasing those high-risk shortcuts, because those shortcuts, they almost always lead you right back to an account balance of 0.
So as we start to wrap this up, it really all boils down to a choice. Everything we've gone over today presents you with a really clear decision about what kind of trader you're going to be. And here they are, the 2 paths. You've got the gambler who chases the YouTube hype, risks way too much on every trade, and, it's inevitable. They blow up. Then you have the professional. They ignore all that noise. They focus on protecting their money, on building their skill set, and on making sure they are still around to trade tomorrow. And I really want to leave you with this bit of encouragement. Every single professional trader you might look up to, they all started somewhere. A lot of them started with tiny accounts, with not much knowledge and with no real edge in the market. The difference is they chose the professional path. They decided to treat this like an education, not a trip to the casino. This is the whole message in just 4 words. It's time to stop buying lottery tickets with meme stocks and wild options plays. It's time to start the real hard work of learning the profession of trading. And that's the final question I want you to really ask yourself after this. What is your actual goal here? Are you trying to build a lasting professional skill that can serve you for years? Or are you just here hoping to get lucky? The choice is yours.